Okay, so for my midterm essay, I decided to take on a claim that is more about injustice in societies. So my claim is, as a society, every citizen has a responsibility to speak out against injustices. And the sources that I decided to choose from, I chose three. I chose Just Mercy, because I want to look into the criminal justice system. Letter from Birmingham jail, because that shows a lot about injustice in society, especially during that time period. So it'll give some historical context. And then Plato, like Socrates being able to question the government and stuff like that, and then speaking out and defending himself for being that way and going against what other people say, but he's speaking out because he thinks that to be educated you need to be able to speak your own mind. And that was, to me, that seems kind of like an injustice. Like, now if people were saying, oh, you can't question the government, that would be a huge injustice on society. So I thought that was a pretty good example, like looking into the government. I think a lot of this revolves more around the government and your injustices against the government, but in general. So the points that I decided to pick were, so there's more injustice that happens in the United States than we are aware of. Like reading Just Mercy, I didn't realize how much of that actually happens, and the issue of children under 18 being given life sentences and tried as adults. I thought that was crazy, and to me that seemed like a huge injustice to society. And then another one was, the country is constructed so that we live the life that we are willing to work for. So speaking out on problems and injustices gives a chance to other people who are maybe trapped in those injustices and cannot live the life that they are wanting to live. Like, for example, in Letter from Birmingham jail, black people in the civil rights movement. That was a huge injustice. They didn't get to live the life that they deserved and wanted to work for. And then my third point will be, speaking out on injustices provides new viewpoints and education to others, and this could cause a ripple effect to others, which I think ties right into Plato and Socrates, and being able to question things and speak your mind on certain things. And a counter-argument that I kind of thought of was, if they aren't doing anything unlawful, then they shouldn't have anything to worry about. So because it's not unlawful, then it's not an injustice. But that's totally not true, because not every injustice, actually the majority of injustices are completely legal at the time. And like racism, is total injustice, and the civil rights movement, when black people did not have the same rights, even I guess at that time it was illegal to be discriminate against black people, but it was still, a huge issue. But in the 1800s, when slavery was illegal, it was legal, it was still a huge injustice. And now we look back on it, we're like, why would we ever have let that happen? But at the time, it was legal, so it seemed perfectly fine, and now we're realizing, oh, things are not actually okay just because the law says they are. And so I want to focus on that quite a bit as well. And I chose this claim because I'm really interested in criminology and the justice system and stuff like that. If I were not a pre-med student, I would be a criminology student, no doubt about it. After reading Just Mercy, I considered switching, but so we'll see. But yeah, so I thought it was just really interesting, and I am passionate about that stuff. I'm super passionate about giving everybody equal chances and equal rights and all of that. So I thought this was a perfect paper for me to write, so that I could put passion into the essay itself. So that is what I decided to write about.